He used to be the manager of Burnley. Then out of the blue, he got the Bayern's job to the disbelief of everyone except for those who gave him the job. Only them saw what he was cooking. A lot of us didn't see that until fast forward a season later. We have come to understand and see what his game plan was all along, and that he just needed the right players and setting for the job. His name is Vincent Kompany, and is the current manager of Bayern Munich. He plays a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3 formation, but as of last season in the league, he actually made use of the 4-2-3-1 formation 31 times out of 84 matches. But during attacking transition, his team tends to set up or look like a 2-4-4 formation. So in theory, you can say he plays a 2-4-4 formation. It looks crazy, but it is what it is. This system main strength is its strength in numbers, which can lead to an onslaught of numerous attacks if it is utilized well, and can end up keeping the opposition trapped in their own half. And his style of play, according to whoscored.com, his team tends to control the game in the opposition half, plays a possession-based football, makes use of short passes, attempts through balls often, and overload the opposition penalty areas. So, his team actually are not a team that invites you to press by slowly building from the back like other teams. Instead, they push to the center of the pitch in advanced position. And by pushing to the center of the pitch in advanced position, you tend to get something like this. Yeah. So you end up seeing his team looking like a 2-4-4 formation on paper or in the pitch. So by playing something like this, you end up seeing the fullbacks in attacking the half spaces. The half spaces is not actually here, but somewhere around here. That's the area between the center back and the opposition left back. So you tend to see them somewhere here, but it doesn't necessarily mean they won't attack this position the way. But most of the time during build up, you see them in this area or zone. So as well, and due to the aggressive nature of Bayern goalkeeper, which is Manuel Neuer, who tends to get involved with the pattern of play, you tend to see him play as high as possible as well. So you end up seeing the fullbacks in half spaces. The center backs will be a bit wide in order to fill up the gap left behind by the fullbacks. So you end up seeing them spreading out wide in order to compensate for the spaces left behind by the fullback. The fullbacks, their respective side backs or fullbacks. So, with the attackers shifting to a central, with the attackers shifting to create a front line of a 4 up front, which is something like this, where you see Coman, Kane, Musiala, and Olise up front, and thereby creating this 4-2-2 formation with the pivots, which are the central midfielders thereby supporting and outnumbering the opposition in the central area. What I mean by that is these two central midfielders actually, they tend to either support the defenders during build up or support the attackers during attacking phases. So in other words, in most of the time, they will tend to outnumber the opposition in this in this central area, both in defense and in attack, and also in the center of the pitch. And the goalkeeper as well is also a passing option, which is Manuel Noah. And during the game, you will tend to see him come as high as possible here, or during build-up phase, he tends to get involved in the passing and slow build-up, hereby creating an extra man or passing option in order to outnumber the opposition press. Okay, this style of play that Vincent Kompany tends to use ends up creating a central overload. A central overload, this is why, because your striker and your attacking midfielder, which is Kane and Musiala, they tend to fall back as well to the central position during build up or doing defensive or pressing, doing defensive shape, while falling back or doing counter pressing. So they tend to fall back, thereby creating numerical advantage in this central, or creating a central overload in this central position. And their style of play can end up creating a 1v1 situation due to how high the team plays depending on the opposition press. Because, come to think of it, you have four attackers up front, and most team tends to play a 4 at the back or 3 at the back. So thereby, you tend to have these 4 attackers pressing the opposition 1v1, thereby creating that 1v1. There is one player for each opposition backline or player. So thereby making the opposition either go long or go short. And if they tend to go long, your team will end up winning the second ball or winning the first balls. But if they tend to go short, the opposition might end up losing the ball in dangerous places in the penalty box, which might end up creating scoring chances, or if possible, or most times a goal. And due to how wide your wingers are going to be, which are your 2 wingers, due to how wide they will be, you will end up seeing that switch of play. Switch of play is when the ball tends to move to the left hand side or to the right hand side. Most times you see the opposition team tend to fall to that direction, which is, maybe let's assume it's at the left hand side here. We tend to see the opposition team all fall back to this direction, thereby with your wingers being wide or tend to stay wide. Let's assume it's at the left hand side that the ball is. Most times you see that switch of play to the right hand side, thereby leaving Olise alone. Or most times you will just get to mostly be alone due to the opposition actually trying to block the left hand area of the pitch or falling to the left hand side of the pitch. Okay, and your fullbacks are usually wide as well, giving your wingers the option of either to invert or to overlap. So that's just it for the Vincent Kompany style of play. And let's go to so I have to switch this immediately. Okay, we have to go back to the previous shape. Okay, so that's that. So for now, we'll go to the mentality. For mentality, due to Bayern being more superior to most teams, and even when they play against similar strength teams, which they rarely do except during Champions League game, and maybe in the league where they play maybe against most times just Dortmund and Leverkusen, and a little bit of Frankfurt and Okay, Gladbach. I think Gladbach most of the time actually, even if they are not on form, they tend to win. At least get one once in a while win against Bayern every season. So we'll be going with the attacking style on attacking mentality, but you can depending on your team. But for this particular test, I actually made use of the attacking mentality throughout. So using the attacking mentality. So for in possession we actually made use of the attacking with fairly wide or standard. Fairly wide is because you need the reason I went for fairly wide is because it's a company team actually exploits the central positions and the wide position as well. And you'll be having when your team tends to push up, you tend to see your center backs be a little bit far apart. So that's why I went for the fairly wide. Okay, fairly wide approach play, pass into space. Like as I said earlier, one of his style is one of his major style of plays attack through attempt through balls often. So pass into space in order to get that replica of through balls and will play out of defense, yes, which is necessary for its position playing team, and focus play down the left and down the right. And in the final third, okay, this focus play doesn't necessarily okay, let's just that. For the final third, you make use of low crosses and walk ball into box. I think for this walk ball into box, I would tend to advise that if you're actually using a smaller team or a team that's not as dominant as Bayern, you should tend to use you should tend to just leave the option free. I think so. Yes, but I didn't test that, but I think you should tend to use because an inferior team will not be able to exploit that. They won't be able, I don't think they'll be able to exploit the defensive shape of your position as well as Bayern. So that's just it. So walk ball into box. Okay, pretty freedom, be more expressive. As we all know, if you tend to watch the Bayern game, you understand that um Musiala and Musiala, okay, his team tends to be expressive, whereby you have Davies, Musiala, Kane, and Olise, Coman all rotating and being fluid as well. So that's just it. Okay, so for in transition, counter press, very necessary. When position has been lost, very necessary because of how high the team plays. And if you tend not to use that and you go for a group, you're actually killing the essence of the high press and the four up front, four in the central position, and two behind. You're just setting up your team to lose, woefully. So counter press, very necessary. When position has been won, counter, very necessary. And goalkeeper in possession, based on you, you can decide to go for distribute quickly or slow down pace. But I tend to leave it to the goalkeeper to decide for himself. And distribution with I choose distribute to areas. Distribution type, I decided to go for take short kicks. And okay, out of possession, due to us using Bayern, I decided to go for the much higher defensive line and high press. Trigger press more often, prevent short goalkeeper distribution. Defensive line, step up more, crossing trap inside. Trap inside. But I think Bayern actually tends to use the trap outside ball. My bad. That's on me. I didn't actually take notice of this, so I decided to go for trap outside. But for this test, I actually use trap inside and it works. So trap inside, but you can go for the trap outside. Okay, so that's that. For player roles, we should be going next. Player roles. For your goalkeeper, we decided to go for sweeper keeper and attack. No further instruction. Just dribble more and take more risks. For your two center backs, we decided to go for ball playing defenders on defend duty. We take more risks and hold position. For your two wing backs, decide to go for wing backs on attack with clear instruction, take more risks and tackle harder and run wide with ball, cross from byline and get further forward. Okay. For your defensive midfielders, we decided to go for deep line playmaker on support duty. We tackle harder, shoot less often, take more risks, hold position. And on the left hand side, we decided to go for a volante with player instruction. Okay, volante on support duty, player instruction, get further forward and tackle harder. And for your attacking midfielder, we decided to go for which is the Musiala role. We went for the advanced playmaker on attack duty with the move into channels, tackle harder, move into channels because we want him to be attacking this place, and most of the time you will see him fall back as well. So okay, move into channels, tackle harder, and shoot. Okay, that's an in-game instruction. Okay, for your two wingers, we went for the inverted wingers on attack duty for both sides with similar instructions: stay wider, tackle harder, dribble more, cut inside with the ball, get further forward. For this stay wider, the stay wider is just to create that width and as well draw out the opposition and for your wing back to overlap or attack the half spaces as well, or exploit these half spaces. So most of the time during the game, you end up seeing this combo, the wing back and winger combo, these two combo, both on the left and the right hand side, and you end up seeing this combo between the advanced playmaker, which is Musiala and Kane as well, and you end up seeing this combo between your defensive midfielders and your ball playing defenders. So that's that. Then for your attackers, for your forward, we decided to go for the complete forward, which is the Harry Kane role, in order for him to do on support duty. Support duty with tackle harder, stay, hold up ball, dribble more, take more risks, move into channels, run from position. I think you can give the Musiala the run from position instruction, but I decided not to do that because I tend to see, even without it, I tend to see him still run round. So, okay, so that's that for the player roles. And with the complete forward, you tend to see him fall back as well. So that's just it, or go out wide. He's basically a player of his own. He does what is on his mind. So that's that for your player roles. Then for results, yeah. Actually, I just actually played the preseason. Compared to other times, I played the preseason and played a few games, both in the league and Champions League. Okay, so in preseason, I actually decided to go. I won't be showing you all, but I just decided to go for a few of the games. These first two, I decided to go for easier picks in order for to see how my team plays the formation or style, and also I decided to go for three strong teams in Milan, Napoli, and Man United in order to see how my team can operate against similar opposition or tougher opposition. And okay, so in the preseason, okay, against Hamburg, you can see he had 35 shots, 15 on target, XGA 4.48. That's basically almost 4.5. So yeah, so that's that. Possession 66. So we actually nearly slaughtered them. It was a comfortable game. Similar with the Sao Paulo Socialo. Sorry about pronunciation. Then for Milan, it was a 2-1 victory, but there was no time that I was actually bothered because we're basically comfortable than the results said, which was XG 2.80, 22 shots, 10 shots on target, as you can see there. Okay. Against Napoli, yeah, I think this game we actually ended 4-0, but it wasn't as comfortable as it seemed because Napoli under Spalletti was actually more aggressive and nearly cut us through balls and what have you, with shot on targets. In okay, we actually won 4-0, but as you can see, we still maintained that shot, but Napoli actually struggled with it, as in went head to head with on possession aspect with us. Okay. Okay, against Man United, this was actually comfortable as well compared to what the result was, where we had 3.88 as well. So that's just that. 27 shots to Man United 6. Okay, I'll just show you the Super Cup. The Super Cup, yes. Okay, in the Super Cup, actually, the UEFA Super Cup against Napoli. Yeah, we had 4.81 XG, 12 shot on target, 28 shots, and 54 ball possession. Actually, this game was not as easy as it seemed because Napoli actually scored us, and the very first kick of the game, that was through pass. We actually went on the attack, and then they countered us immediately and caught us the true pass. So that was just it. But actually it was not as easy as it seemed. Okay, that's just it for 4-2. And I decided to check against a superior or similar team in the league, which is Leipzig or Leipzig. Where we won by 2-0. We still had that high shots as well, 9 shots on target, XG. So you see the formation actually works like it actually gives you the high attack rates. And against Juve, this game was actually as comfortable than the results. We won 1-0, 21 shots on target, 21 shots to Juve 6, 7 shots on target to Juve 1, XG we had 2.36 to their 0.50. And as you can see, the team rating in this particular game, you saw we had from defense to midfield, we actually had a good rate for my players, but the front line was actually terrible. Why? I don't know, but I feel maybe due to the chances they missed. Imagine taking 21 shots and you ended up scoring just one of it. So I think that was why they had a very bad player rating in this particular game. So that's just that for this. And if we were to go to the data up, as you can see, we're averaging 3 goals per game. Expected goals, 3 goals conceded so far, 0 goals conceded, 22 shots per games. Shot on target ratio, we are averaging 42.05. So that's just that on Vincent Kompany style of play. And that's it. So see you in the next video. And if that's just my own take, so if you see any error or anything you wish to add on, please leave a comment in the comment section. Like and subscribe. And by subscribing, you are basically pushing this video further and helping me as well. Thanks and see you in the next video. Peace.